Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh. So for today's video, as you guys can see by the title, I wanted to talk about some different places that you can touch a guy that a guy really likes being touched. One of the best ways to connect with somebody and get to know somebody and to like see how somebody's feeling is by actually like touching them and just like being comfortable enough to touch that other person. I feel like shows a lot in a relationship. So for today's video, I thought that I would just talk about a couple different places that I think if you're in a relationship with a guy, or if you really like somebody and it's getting to that point where you guys are going on a bunch of dates and you guys are kind of like, you feel like you want to hold hands, but maybe you're not holding hands yet. I feel like there's some different places that you can touch them that kind of get that message across that you do really like them, and then you guys can kind of push your like relationship a little bit further if that's something that you want to do. So that's what I thought I would talk to you guys about. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you guys are having an awesome day today. If you're new to my channel and you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. With that being said, here are 5 different places to touch a guy that guys really like to be touched. Alright, so the first one that I want to tell you guys about, I feel like this one is kind of an easy place to touch and somewhere to start, but I feel like the back of the head or like anywhere like right here. Like if you're gonna be kissing a guy or you're hugging him, I feel like girls, when you guys like put your hands, like can't really do it like to myself, but if you're hugging a guy and you have your hands behind his head, for some reason it's just like, it's different than just giving somebody a regular hug. And when a guy feels like a girl's hands on his head or on his body in any place, it's weird. We get like tingles. I feel like guys get tingles when a girl touches them, and especially if it's like the first time and that guy has a huge crush on you. One of the first places that you can do that is just on the back of his head, and I feel like it's gonna be like a little bit different, but at the same time it's gonna be something that he remembers, and he probably will get those like tingles down his back. Alright, so moving on to the second one. I feel like this one, if you can do this, I don't know what kind of situation you would be in where you'd be in the position to actually touch somebody like this, but a guy's lips are really sensitive, and I feel like if you're gonna be kissing the guy, obviously your lips are gonna be touching his lips, but I think that also like if you're ever in the position where like your hand can touch somewhere on his face or touch his lips in any way, for some reason I feel like a person's lips, like even if you rub your finger along your lips, like they're really sensitive. And it's one of those places that when you touch somebody in a certain place, say like on the back of their neck or on their lips or somewhere on their body, and it's like not somewhere that somebody touches all the time, I feel like those are the places that are gonna be like memorable and somewhere that like the guy's actually gonna remember you touching him. And so if you're really close with this person and you're just like wondering what are some different things that I can do in order to kind of, I don't know, make it different or like make it exciting. One of the places that I think guys are like really sensitive, and I feel like for you girls too, is on their lips. Yeah, that's the second one, definitely on the lips. Alright, so the third one, we're gonna move back up to more of our head area. Just because like when I feel like you're kissing somebody or you're hugging somebody, your hands are gonna be like somewhere around this region. And so I feel like when somebody ever touches my ears, for some reason I get like, they're super ticklish, and I don't know what it is. I think it's because your ears are like one of those places that are also very sensitive. But I feel like if you're like hugging a guy, or maybe you're cuddling with this guy, and then you like actually start to like play with his ears or like grab his ears or just like do something funny that has something to do with his ears. This is just like another place that not everybody gets touched all the time. So if you're not at that stage yet where you're like kissing somebody's neck, but you're like kind of touching them in a way where like maybe you're hugging them. So yeah, I feel like at the end of each of these, if you've ever done any of these before, let me know like down in the comments and like how the person reacted. But yeah, that's another place, is definitely like on their ears. So the next 2 places don't have anywhere to do with the head or like your face or your back of your head or anything. Another place that I think is really cute when girls do this, but when a girl walks up behind a guy and like puts her arms around a guy's neck and shoulders, I feel like that's another time that guys kind of, we like get in that mood where it's kind of like a really good feeling because the girl that we really like is coming up behind us and kind of just like grabbing onto us. So it's nothing like you're like kissing that person, but I feel like it's just more along the lines of you're able to touch them and give them a hug just in a different way that will get a different message across. Now, if you've never done that before, then it might be kind of like nerve-wracking and you might be kind of nervous to do it, but if you are just really close to the other person, one of the ways that you can touch them, and a way that I think the guy will remember, is by walking up and giving them kind of like one of those back hugs. So shoulders and like neck like up here is definitely somewhere that is a good place to like hug or touch a guy. All right, so the fifth one, this is the last one that I want to tell you guys about. Another place that you can touch a guy, and like this is if you're sitting next to him or you're just like doing something where you're really close to him, where you could easily just reach over and kind of touch his knee or touch his leg. This is a place where, let's say a guy's like laughing really hard or he says something and it's really funny and you guys are laughing together. It's really easy to be able to kind of reach your hand over and kind of like just be that person that's just like laughing so hard and touching them at the same time. Like if you're not comfortable with this person yet, then definitely don't do it. But if you do know this person and you guys have kind of been seeing each other or you really like them, then I think it's something that you can do to kind of get that message across and to kind of just like be in that zone where you're showing them that you're really comfortable around them. So if you don't want to touch them on their thigh because maybe you're not sure yet or you're just like kind of nervous, then a really good place is on their knee. I feel like when you touch somebody's knee, it's not that crazy. And so I feel like if there is somewhere that you're gonna touch them that's a little bit more than like their head or their neck, then touch them on their leg, and I feel like it's something that they're gonna remember. But yeah, that's the fifth one. I feel like these are some pretty good places that like you can touch a guy if you do want to like try to move on to the next step. So yeah, those are the 5 that I came up with. I wanted to talk to you guys about this because sometimes like there's some things that I feel like we don't often talk about like with other people because we might be kind of nervous or embarrassed to talk about it. And so I feel like for me, I like talking about these videos because I like talking to you guys about things that maybe you can't talk to everybody about. If you did enjoy today's video, give it a thumbs up. Also, for those of you guys that have done any of these before, if you've ever touched a guy like that, or if you're wanting to do any of those, or if you've never touched a guy before, let me know in the comments like what's going on with you and your relationships, because I feel like it's really interesting for us to kind of read through them and be able to comment and reply to each other. So also, if you guys want to send me some questions, you can send them in the comments or you can send them to me on my Instagram DMs, because I go through all of those every day and I try to reply to as many as I can, but sometimes it can be really difficult because there are a lot. So send me a question on Instagram. But with all that being said, I love you guys so much. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. But I love you guys, and I will see you next Saturday in next week's video. Bye!